Prayers.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness have appointed official leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity. We beseech you to look upon with the abundant favor these your servants, whom we have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trust in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as promoting and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge.
Amen.
Amen.
Item number 2, communication from the chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, we wish to welcome you to today's sitting. Yesterday, I informed the House of the death of His Highness, the Emor Papa Iteso, Augustine Osuban. His Excellency, the President, has accorded him an official burial. On that note, therefore, we really want to thank the President for that, for according the leader official burial. We will have official sitting, a special sitting to pay tribute to Emor tomorrow. With the culture, there is no politics. Request our friends on the left-hand side to come and pay tribute to the fallen Emor, because it's about the culture, the cultural institutions. I would request my good friend, the leader of opposition, to lead his team back tomorrow and perform that activity. As you all know, this is non-partisan. Of course, the cultural institutions. Agenda has released a program for the funeral service, and we'll go by that program. After the sitting, we'll hand over to Minister of Gender. Once more, I want to thank members for devoting yourselves to be in the house most of the time, all the time. It's not an easy thing, but I'm also still emphasizing that members that have bills pending with your committees, please finish the bills. so that we are able to process them in the house and we have them completed. I want to thank you so much. Matters of national importance. We shall have a session at 2. Honorable Masila, you had the matter of national importance. The session will be at 2.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you as I want to thank you again, Madam Speaker, for this chance, and also condole with you and all of us over the passing on of a Morimori Papa Uskun. We all feel it, and on behalf of my county constituency in Buburo East, where I have a sizable number of the Itesot community who are my voters, I stand and condole with them. The matter today, Madam Speaker, is on a positive note. I want to move to thank the Minister of Trade for diverting the trailers from both the Busia and the Malaba, those returning to Kenya. They are now passing through my constituents at Wakaka border. This is a very positive note. And of course, the local economic development around my place has shot up very highly, the lodges and everything like that. So this is on a positive note, by the way. However, Madam Speaker, why it is a matter of urgent national importance is we started with about 800 per day. Now they are 1,200. They are now parking for over 10 kilometers from Ruahaha to Butiru. So it creates some other issues, and especially security. I don't see, I want to ask the Minister of Internal Affairs and Security to take note of this in the case of any terrorist attack, because they keep parking there. 10 kilometers is not a short distance, Madam Speaker. Secondly, the parking lane, they have taken over the whole of the road, so other road users have a problem moving. Of course, although it is a positive note, but we have problems. Then sanitary problems also. No public toilets and whatever. My people sent me, I talked to the community. I needed it to also, please, information allowed, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable colleague, for giving way. My name is Honorable Akoli Godfrey, and I represent the people of Butiru. I also want to thank the Minister of Trade on the same note for giving us an opportunity, diverting the trailers. But the information I stand up to give, Honorable colleague, is about also the negative side, whereas we are appreciating. Me, who comes from the constituency of Butiru, trailers have been diverted from Makodesi, then accessing the tarmac road of Butiru, but my people have been calling me on the problem of heavy dust emanating from so many trailers. But also the carrying capacity of that road does not actually allow the trailers to be used. So I just want to pray that UNRWA intervenes by either getting us trucks to be watering that road so that the people who are suffering, because even the mushrooming businesses there, the chapati makers cannot sell their chapati because of the heavy dust coming as a result of trailers. On a daily basis, I think they pass over 100 trailers on that small road. So you are the Minister of Trade, whereas we appreciate, we also want to request that you consider the people of Butiru, specifically the distance from Makodesi, that's Rwanzusi, Butiru Sub-County, and Butiru Town Council on the issue of heavy dust coming as a result of many trucks using that short road. I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As I finish, it is a positive note. We don't have to come here with only cries and lamentations. So my pleas are to the Minister of Works, if we could widen the road, especially in Ruahaha towards Munamba, so that the parking is good for the trailers. Secondly, still the Minister of Works or Health to move very fast to have sanitary facilities. And my people in Ruahaha, maybe I will come here with a motion in the future, Madam Speaker. They told me, should the Minister of Works or Health or whatever construct public washrooms, then we should name them after one of our own here in the past parliament. You were here, Madam Speaker, who fell, Honorable Abiriga, and they said instead of using English and saying, washrooms, why can't we call them abrogation rooms, by the way? I want to thank you.
Thank you so much, Rastaman. Can the Minister of Health and Works take up that issue? Health in terms of the public places to avoid people getting cholera again. So can the minister, government, can you?
Right, Honorable Speaker, this is an issue which needs interministerial coordination. I'm going to raise it with the Prime Minister so that we can bring together the different ministries from internal affairs to works, health, and trade. We have one meeting with the representatives from the affected areas, and then we shall be reporting back next week.
Report back on Tuesday on what you've agreed to work on and how we can handle that issue. Next item.
Item number 3, statement by Minister on the status of the value addition facility at the Busia border.
Honorable members, the transformation of this country is dependent on a favorable balance of trade between Uganda and other countries. And I believe that was the reason why Honorable Macho brought up this. And of course, this requires export promotion and value addition. And this makes our products more competitive globally. So for us to have a value addition in the area, it helps us both as a country, our products have market for our commodities that we produce. Can we have now a statement from the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing me present today, as I requested. Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda adopted the border export zone program in 2010 to address its constraints as a landlocked country and improve her competitiveness in the region market, especially with regard to supply of agricultural and non-agricultural products for her neighbors, and especially the border export zone program was designed to increase and improve trade infrastructure and capacity building to the cross-border traders. And secondly, to increase in export earnings by ensuring export of value added and quality products. To also increase employment opportunities because the facility will employ Ugandans. It was also intended to promotion of public-private partnership at the border export zones post-harvest handling, and reduce waste of products, of produce. To also improve compliance to standards and marketing quality of products through the use of improved and organized infrastructure. It was also intended to reduce non-tariff barriers and promote formal trading with our neighbors. It was also an enabler of Uganda to maximize the benefits of the COMESA and FTA and East African Customs Union, the Tripartite Free Trade Area, and the African Continental Free Trade Area. Madam Speaker, originally, the concept was called border markets. However, the term market was limiting the scope and what is envisaged to be developed, hence the name border export zones, which is wider in scope so that it can cater for border. Now, the target of this project is to develop at least 18 border export zones at strategic border points of Uganda in the next 10 years, from 2020. The ministry went ahead to identify these border areas. Uganda-Kenyan border, we identified Malaba, Rakaka, Swam, Busia, and Limino. Uganda-South Sudan border, we identified Oraba, Elegu, Madi Opey, and Amudat. Madam Speaker, we looked at Uganda-Tanzanian border, we looked at Chikagati and Mutukula. On Uganda-Congo DRC border, we looked at Impondwe, Lamia Busunga, Ishasha, Vura, and Intoroko. On Uganda-Rwandan border, Madam Speaker, we looked at Katuna and Mirama Hills. So the rest of the borders, Madam Speaker, will be catered for after we've fulfilled these ones. Madam Speaker and members, government will establish at each border export zone the following facilities: the warehouses to promote storage and bulking of marketing. And then it will provide space for establishment of primary and secondary value addition facilities to promote export of value-added products. It also would put a border market to facilitate cross-border exports. It will also put a commercial building or commercial buildings for rental trade in goods and trade in services. It will also put a waste management facility to cater for the waste products. We'll put a recreation center to cater for the young people and the youthful mothers. We'll put also an extension of utilities, water and electricity, and the roads. Madam Speaker, investment in the border export zone is mainly by the private sector. However, to attract investment into the zone, government secures the land, opens it up, establishes roads, water, and electricity, connects and develops selected facilities, including the border markets, waste management facilities, and selected warehouses. Now, the progress of the establishment of the zones in general. Now, the minister and the ministry got land from strategic borders in Busia, Masafu, Namisindwa, Wakaka, Kabale, Katuna, Amuru, Elegu, Isinjiro, Chikagati, Kasese, Mpondwe, Koboko, Oraba, and all the areas that I mentioned, with the support from the European Union through the common markets for East and Southern Africa. And the ministry conducted the assessment, architectural and structural drawings, and the bills of quantities. However, due to the limited funds provided by the European Union through the COMESA to the Regional Integration Implementation Program, which has since been halted, and construction works of starter facilities as recommended by the representative local governments, respective local governments, only took place at Busia, Ruakaka, Katuna, Mpondwe, and Oraba. Madam Speaker, now the value addition facility warehouse at Busia in particular, which is now the border export zone in particular. Due to the limited funds, the ministry, in consultation with the Busia district local government officials and the municipality and municipal leaders, constructed a warehouse with the related facilities that I read up there. The facility is 600 metric, it has the capacity of 600 metric tons on 1,193 meter to 5,965 meter of storage space, and is scheduled to be commissioned and handed over by the contractor to the ministry, and then later on to the municipality, to the municipal council in February 2022. Madam Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the Regional Integration Implementation Program support ended, hence the need to provide a substantive budget to the Ministry of Trade to ensure full development of the border export promotion at the borders. Local governments are calling on potential investors to invest as per the master plan, and government facilitation towards the respective markets will greatly benefit the micro, small, and medium enterprises in Uganda, who will grow their capacity by utilizing the available investment. Therefore, I call upon Parliament to allocate funds to the establishment of border export zones at the strategic border points, and the establishment of funds to fill the gap is 191.8 billion to facilitate all the 18 targeted sites. In this regard, a project proposal has been developed and presented to the Minister of Finance for further for funding under the development support arrangement. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister, for the statement. We'll allow a debate for 10 minutes. Yes, Honorable Macho.
Madam Speaker, from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of the people of Busia District and Busia Municipality and Bukedi, I want to thank, first of all, President Yoweri Museveni Kaguta and the Minister of Trade by that time, and Honorable Bahati, who was in finance, and Madam Speaker, not forgetting you too, because you used to sit you used to sit at the other corner. You are part of the people who really supported this value addition facility. Madam Speaker, facilities are the solution for job creation and majorly for job increment, majorly to areas on the border. I want to inform the August House of honorable members that since this facility was built, it has changed the face of Busia municipality, and people at the other side of Kenya are eagerly waiting to see when are we beginning to export quality food from this facility. I therefore want to support my sister, the minister, that as Parliament, we should support government to give value addition facilities and also and around Uganda, because the fact of the matter, come next month after the handover of this facility to Busia municipality leadership, you are going to see booming business. And Busia being a border, which is the major exporter of maize in East and Central Africa, really, I want to thank the NRM regime that this is one of the best it has done. And at the same time, Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate the president for the state of art market, which they built for Busia municipality, but we request that the Minister of Trade should help us so that we have to make our people have value for cleanliness and sanitation for this market, and also help talk to the town clerk as we talk as leaders for people to make use of this facility. Lastly, Madam Speaker, we also appreciate that government built a state-of-art Comesa market in Masafu in the central constituency of Busia district. But this facility is not working and it was completed almost 2 years ago. Moreover, Kenya is almost 6 kilometers from Masafu. It is our prayer that government can, as quick as possible, since they're handing over the value addition facility to Busia municipality, they should hand over the Comesa market to Busia district, because Kenya is already prepared. The other side of Mulwanda to Funyula to Mataus, President Uhuru Kenyatta have already tarmacked for the 5 kilometers from Lumino to Nyadeti to Mulwanda to be tarmacked, so that from Kenya we can save fuel for 28 kilometers than using the main. Lastly, Madam Speaker and my colleagues, I want to appreciate and say, I think this is the way to go for government to build value addition and also add on silos. It will help us be strategically positioned in the East African region as a food basket to tap from the bigger market that we have. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Since you are the one who had asked the question, your question has been answered. We have so many presentations from ministers to be answered, and we can have Amos, then Martin, and we close there.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want to register my appreciation, like my colleague has just said.
Your colleague, the leader of opposition.
Yes. For the record, my name is Amos Kakunda and I represent the people of Rampara County. And Right Honorable Speaker, I also sit on the board of the National Logistics Platform, and I'm privy to some of these things. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, there is something I want to appreciate that happened between Uganda and Kenya. Some time back, we had been asked, because we were told we were given 10 acres in Naivasha for export zone and processing and value addition. I want to appreciate the Minister of Trade and Minister of Works for not taking on that bait. Because what we need is exactly what the Honorable Ministers have told us, to do the export zones within our area. And what will help our Ugandans is to tap into the intra-regional trade. Particularly when you look, for example, at Mutukula, when you have exports from there, you're able to tap into the southern Tanzania and then enter through Lake Tanganyika, Chigoma, where we are aware that there is an export zone being processed by Tanzania. And if we're able to do that, we can penetrate even southern Congo and all that. Having an opportunity to produce enough food will help our people to have income. I want to register my appreciation and support this agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Amos. But having listened to the appeal of the minister of wanting the additional 191.8 billion, having listened to the appeal of the minister where she wants 191.8 billion to finalize the targeted sites for the border export zones, I've noted that the appeal should have been directed to the Committee of Budget during the National Budget Framework Paper 2022-2023, 2026-2027. When I reviewed the document after looking at your report, when I reviewed the report from the Committee of Budget, you only asked for 10 billion for validation equipment and training of SMEs. No mention was made on export border zones. It was not mentioned. You need to check your report very well. So it is better for you to go and align what you asked for vis-a-vis what you're reporting here. Yes, clarification?
Thank you, Right.
There's a
Thank you,
clarification. and I
Thank
come
you,
to
Right Honorable Speaker. The clarification I want to ask from the minister is the access by our local traders to these facilities. How is it going to be? For example, when you go to Busia border, most of our farmers who grow maize, they form cooperatives and then they sell these products to Kenya. Now that you are creating these facilities, how are they going to access them? Through their groups? So I want you to come on record and tell Parliament how the farmers are going to access and utilize these facilities so that we are also comfortable and we communicate to the traders with the authority of the information.
Honorable Commissioner, let's first have one thing done at a time. Let's have the facility in place. Then that will be an operational kind of, we'll know how to handle it so long as the facility is in place. Honorable Muzale.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for the information you've given us. Honorable Minister, I appreciate the fact that you've called on the private investors to come and invest in these cross-border trade zones. Honorable Minister, I want to give you information that we have industrial parks in this country. And those industrial parks, most of them are in wetlands. And there is already a directive from the president that there should be no more licenses to wetlands. And all these industrial parks are in wetlands. Most of the traders or the investors bought land or were allocated land in these industrial parks. There is a crisis as we speak today that NEMA has refused to issue licenses based on the directive that was given by the president. It's a crisis that international organizations have been funding industrialization in this country. So you need to find a solution to that problem, because what would be the feed sector to most of these cross-border trade zones, which would be the industries built in these local parks, they are stranded. Secondly, I think we need to do more, especially when it comes to cross-border trade. There are a lot of challenges still in this cross-border trade.
currently we can see the issue of fuel crisis in the country. We've been promised a number of times that the prices are going to go down. But as we speak today, it is still a challenge. As the minister in charge of trade, Honorable Minister, I think it is within your docket that you can still also use this advantage to explain to the country why fuel prices are still, actually, as we speak today, the fuel prices are going up and up. I thank you.
Local government?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, analysis of the budget framework paper, which showed that the money demanded by Minister of Trade was less. When the Honorable Minister for Trade was trying to answer this question, I was also trying to wonder whether it is supposed to be Minister of Trade or Minister of Local Government. Because when it came to the issues of ministerial policy statement, the funding for this high value addition and also these markets in these municipalities were under Minister of Local Government. In fact, it is not only in the bush, not only in the high value addition facilities, not only in the Honorable Macho's constituency, but there's also one in Soroti and another one in Arua. So I wanted to seek clarification on that matter, particularly in terms of the funding, because I'm aware, Madam Speaker, when you look at the various programs of government, you find different ministries doing the same program. Maybe what she's trying to raise is a different matter that they are supposed to initiate yet, or it is under the same program. Because when you go on ground, you find Minister of Agriculture doing agriculture infrastructure development program, Minister of Local Government doing the same, another one. So they are disjointed activities. So I wanted to seek clarification whether what he is talking about is different from what Minister of Local Government is implementing. Thank you.
Actually, we need to do harmonization of activities in different ministries. You find ICT wants to do work, which is related to ICT, but you'll also find health is also doing the same job. You find another ministry also doing. So there's a need to harmonize these activities in different ministries. Because what she's talking about, the 191.8, is not provided for in the National Budget Framework paper. What is provided for is the 10 billion, which is meant for the value, for training of SMEs. It's not about the border trade. Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I want to thank you for the guidance and the critical analysis of our budget framework paper we presented. I'm going to look at the report as guided, and I will give you a full report on this. Madam Speaker, the question that was raised by the Commissioner on how to access the market or the border export zone, we have indicated very well that our part will be to receive it from the contractor, then hand it over to the municipal management. Now, it will be now the municipal management, which has a whole set of leaders, to sit and see who takes this one, either directly or subcontract or whichever. There are members of parliament here to guide the municipality. They cannot be the same person again to go down after handing over and then take management. The private, the issue of the environmental impact assessment, before we hand over before we construct any facility, an assessment is always done. And I think, Honorable Muzali, we are not going to do anything which is outside the environmental laws of this country. So an assessment has already been done on those plots of lands which have been given at the border post. And in case of any other acquisition of more land, an assessment will be done accordingly. Now, on the fuel crisis, our part was to clear the border and make sure trucks start flowing in. Indeed, you have had the appreciation. The members at the border have appreciated. We have done our best as the Minister of Trade in collaboration with our colleagues, Minister of Works, and you saw even security going there. We have even put provisions to see how best we can reduce the backlog, because we don't want trucks to be stuck there with the fuel. We have established to put trucks there to be ready to handle everything. We've put in place regulations. Now, the rest of the regulating, the pump operators and the fuel managers and whatever, is under the Ministry of Energy.
Yes.
And the ministry came here and gave a full report on how it is going to handle that. We may not be now.
The ministry even promised that they would start searching for those petrol stations that are hiking prices.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, Right Honorable Speaker, that question now has already been answered. Clarifying on what?
Right Honorable Speaker, it's only very important that our ministers always give way. You see, our rules of procedure allow for this, so that we have a smooth process. You know, Parliament is for speaking and speaking for the people. Now, when you go to any petrol station, I'm aware that every pump nearly is reading 5,000. And you sit in the same cabinet with the ministers of energy. I do not expect you to say the people of energy are the ones who are responsible. They know what to do. You sit in the same cabinet. What have you agreed about the which is not coming down? Because these people, is there a law against hoarding? Maybe that you know. What is that you are going to do? Because you have what they call collective responsibility. Are you now responsible?
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the honorable member for seeking for clarification. We add on knowledge every day. I wanted
where is the leader
to.
of opposition? I mean, a leader of government business. Government Chief Whip. Government Chief Whip, what I could ask you is to put your house to order. Let people want a response and action. The minister was here and he said they were going to make sure they follow up and everything will come back to normal. We gave a target to trade, and trade has done its duty. Energy must do its work. Let people do their work. So you need to put your house to order.
Clarification also.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just standing in for the government chief whip has stepped out. But you recall when the Minister of Energy was presenting the paper here, one of the things on behalf of government, we say that if the situation continues, if the dealers do not respond to what we're asking them to do, we shall actually take action through the existing regulations and laws. So we are going to follow up, Madam Speaker, with the Minister of Energy to ensure that the dealers respond, do not cheat. There's no reason why the fuel prices should be where it is now. And therefore, we're asking the dealers to bring down the prices, because the excuses they had have been resolved.
I don't want you to ask the dealers. I want you to order the dealers. And we want an action taken.
We'll take action, Madam Speaker, on that.
Action taken on these dealers who are putting high prices, And we need a response in this house. Trade has opened, it is again, the vehicles are again too much. But now why do we have fuel prices going up? No action is being taken. Where is the Minister of Energy who made a commitment that was going to work on it? Yes.
Honorable Minister for Trade is in a hurry to complete her submission. I would like to, first of all, thank the Honorable Bahati for having taken the courage to speak. Like we said there last week, like we stated, every single day that I consume fuel at a loss, it's an increase in the cost of my living, and therefore narrowing on my, what we would call, therefore, the question is not lip service. What this August House requires from you, and humbly so, is for you to present a letter here that, as a matter of proof and evidence, we've written to all licensed operators and directing them that our price ceiling is 4,300 or 4,600 or 4,200. And that whosoever has not complied will face the wrath of the law. That is all the people are looking forward to. Otherwise, coming here and telling us that you're engaging them without giving us evidence as to whether you invited them for a meeting or you've communicated in form of writing, because as regards fuel world over, there is regulation. It's not the free forces of demand and supply. Why? It is an index that affects the price index of all goods and services within the country.
Members, when you come with information, we will not finish. Government, the minister or the regulator is ordered by this parliament. Now we are ordering, we are not requesting him. He is ordered by this parliament to write to all the licensed operators of petrol stations on the fuel prices. And a copy must be brought and laid on table on Tuesday. Tomorrow we have a special sitting. Next item.
Item number 3.2, statement by Minister on the human wildlife conflict and the Uganda Wildlife Authority handling of fires in national parks.
Honorable members, we have in the recent past seen fire guard infrastructures located in the national parks, especially in the dry season. Some of these fires are discovered that it's purported that these fires are caused by the persons in Wildlife Authority. So we need to find out what could be the cause of the fires, what action have you taken on what is happening, and what do we do to the people who have lost property? And this question was raised by Honorable Silwani Solomon, Honorable Minister of Tourism.
Thank you.
Honorable Minister, before sorry for interruption. I want to welcome my brother, Honorable Hillary Onek disaster. And I am welcoming him. Same thing. Social media had written that was flown out a day. When the man was chilling in Igulu, now the man has come to show himself that he's still alive. Honorable, can you just say a word?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, colleagues, members of Parliament. Actually, I had taken leave 2 months ago for 2 months because of the hectic job that I've had in that ministry, in the office of the Prime Minister. And whatever accompaniments I had with it. Now, during the 2 months, the 2 months just ended last week. So I returned to work. But to my surprise, Right Honorable Speaker, first of all, before I even mention my part, I really want to appreciate you, Right Honorable Speaker, for really appraising Parliament about the health of our brother, Right Honorable Olanya. And we are really grateful that the House is appraised, and we pray for him to recover as quickly as possible. Yesterday, when I was going to Cabinet, on the way, I was looking through the papers, then I found out I was among those critically flown out. Now, that was by red paper. And when I read it, I was just wondering what happened. Really, I can only forgive them. There's nothing much I can say, but let them retract that statement. Because I would wish the red paper to retract the statement. Actually, I've even added weight during the holidays. Now, how can I be critically ill in this form? So these speculations about people's health is not healthy at all. It's bad because all of us can fall sick. All of you are not immune to falling sick. COVID has come, anything has come. So really, it is bad politics if somebody thinks it's a political way of doing things. To me, maybe the red paper was just saying a devil's prayers. And devil's prayers will always give you longer life. When somebody speculates that you are dead, you know that you will live longer even. So I'm not bothered. I'm not worried about that one, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank
but
you.
I'm glad to be back with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back.
Thank you.
I read a ruling yesterday which was made by Justice Sekana and said, I would not tolerate anybody writing about judges, bullying judges on social media. I think that ruling should apply to legislators. They should leave us to do our work. This business of witch hunting, people writing all the nonsense that you can't even substantiate. How can you start writing anything that you feel you just, yes, and we need to make a law in regard to that.
Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to applaud you on that matter. Right Honorable Speaker, cyberbullying is a huge topic around the world that emanates from computer misuse. Very many people have moved into the era of the third generation of computer and internet. Therefore, the movement of information has been hurtful to many people,
has been used as a weapon to spread malicious propaganda and hate speech in certain countries. Right Honorable Speaker, from all spheres, you found very many people, one, through social media, either being lured into acts of terrorism, but also others being lured into commission of crimes against their own will, just because they have been manipulated mentally. I agree with you entirely, and I would like to sympathize with you, Honorable Hilary Onek. And for sure, you are alive and lively. When everyone looks at you, our Minister for Disaster Preparedness, we know for sure that in case anything happens, you're there on standby. But for sure, Right Honorable Speaker, at a later stage, I would like to seek leave of this august House to introduce a law to clamp down on matters of cyberbullying, on matters of computer misuse, by preemptively introducing the issue of fines as penalties, by the way, so that they know if you write anything malicious about the honorable or any other member of society, you can see people sharing, cropping people's images without permission. And this is hurtful not only to individuals, but also their families. Therefore, we as the legislature, if we do not step in and protect both sides, we shall have what we call cat and dog fights. You abuse someone, they come for you and they hurt you. So at the end of the day, it will be an eye for an eye, and everyone might end up becoming blind. Therefore, what we should do is to come up with a strong law, but that law should be on penalties of fines. You insult someone, you pay 50 million. So for as long as I present, you insult me and produce malicious propaganda, that is not right. And if Honorable Hilary Onek was to present a demand note of 50 million shillings, I don't think those publishers would do it often. I'm not trying to anticipate anything, but it's something that we need as a law.
Thank you. We will gladly receive your motion, giving us notice on that to that effect, and we need to bring this report to book.
Mr. Speaker, I'm really glad colleagues are looking at this issue, because the bullying going on is too much. And it has resulted into some people also overreacting because they have feelings. You see, some of the people, they want to bully you online, but they want you not to react. You're a robot. They squeeze you online, they use whatever. Then when you react, it's trouble.
It's torture.
So I'm really glad, colleagues, Honorable Nsereko, you've raised this matter. As government will support you, we look into it. Like I saw them writing about the speaker driving, as if people know, we know you've been driving. You're one of the best drivers, I think, around. So, but cartoons were made of you driving, what? We have a life, but I think members, what we should focus on is—
By the way, one thing they should not have a .com speaker. People should leave me to live my life. If I drive, if I do what, it's my business.
So Right Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I really expect an apology to the Honorable Hilary Onek, because yesterday, when it was brought in papers, the aim was to show that government is spending money on officials, just flying them abroad, when our colleague is here, and we even pronounce them dead. So I hope he will get an apology.
That is, thank you so much, Honorable Minister Minister
of Tourism,
tourism,
wildlife,
trade, and antiquities.
and heritage. Right Honorable, extend my condolences to you, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, members from TESO, for the passing on of His Highness Augustine Osborne, the Morimor of TESO. My condolences.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I prepared a long statement on human wildlife conflicts and management of fires in national parks. But it appears now to me that you are more interested on fires in the national parks than the entire statement. And therefore, I'll briefly go through the first part of my statement, but concentrate later on the matters pertaining to the fire in the areas of national parks.
Honorable Minister, why we are interested in this one of the fires, we understood your challenge that you have on what we addressed earlier on. Now that should be discussed during the budgeting, because we need to give you money to fence the parks.
Madam Speaker, human wildlife conflicts occur when human needs and wildlife needs interact. Because humans have intellect, unlike wildlife, the wildlife does not recognize that they need to stay within the confines of the gazetted areas and often move beyond the protected area boundaries, either looking for food or retracing the historical immigration routes resulting in conflict. Some of the conflicts involve property destruction, but in the worst case scenario, these interactions result in serious injuries and death on either side. Causes of human wildlife conflicts.
Honorable Harriet the Minister, come back and sit and wait for other ministers to finish. You people should stop treating Parliament like a market. You come and buy something and go away. What about Honorable Bahati, who is sitting here since morning?
After my statement, Madam Speaker, I will stay until the Parliament is human population pressure. Uganda's human population increased from 5 million in 1948 to over 41 million in 2021. And it is expected to grow up to 104 million by 2050. This definitely has a direct negative impact on wildlife habitat as people strive to acquire land.
There's a procedure, Muzei,
for food production.
From Honorable Wanda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm trying to follow the statement. I don't seem to see it on our iPads.
It was uploaded last week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Do you have an iPad?
It doesn't.
Kindly ask the other people to help you.
It is there, right, Honorable. Let me go to paragraph 2.2. Wildlife habitat loss. The national forest cover, which was 4,854 hectares in 1990, reduced by 64.6% to 1,778 hectares in 2015. This loss of forests was as a result of deforestation, timber lumbering, charcoal burning, encroachment, conversion to crop fields, human settlement, urbanization, industrialization, and bushfires. The continuous degradation and loss of wildlife habitats has left wildlife with no suitable place to stay or feed from. The search for food or trace of their migratory routes eventually results into conflicts. The other reason is poaching and illegal trade in wildlife and its products. The next one is inadequate and lack of buffer zones or migratory corridors. Impact of climate change. Right, Honorable, climate change has had a direct negative impact on the quality of habitat and productivity of both protected areas and agricultural land, leading to water and food scarcity. During the prolonged droughts, water sources outside some protected areas dry up, forcing livestock and people to enter wildlife areas in search of water and pasture. The presence of livestock and people in areas designated for wildlife exposes human beings and domestic animals to the risk of being attacked by dangerous animals, the leopards, the lion, the buffalo, the African elephant, hence a source of human and wildlife conflicts. Then there is a problem of limited and inadequate facilitation to Uganda Wildlife Authority and the district local governments. It is clearly appreciated that human wildlife conflicts are widespread and frequently making it difficult for Uganda Wildlife Authority, who has limited manpower, most of it being confined in protected areas. To effectively deal with the problem and provide timely response to all reported cases. Besides, district local government, which are mandated to deal with vermin. By vermin here, right, Honorable, we are talking about olive baboon, velvet monkey, and bush pig, lack technical and financial capacity to execute the task. Many of the local governments have not yet recruited officials responsible for vermin. Those that have designated officers to handle vermin have neither equipped them with the necessary expertise nor facilitated them to do a good job. Then there are common problem animals. These are common problem animals, species
which include African elephants, the hippopotamus, the buffalo, the chimpanzee, the velvet monkey, olive baboons, bush pig, and crocodiles. Cattle keepers mostly complain about cats that include lion, leopards, hyena, the jackal, and civet. There are current mitigation measures to handle human-wildlife conflict. One of them
interested in this debate statement, yeah, Minister, tourism. Building. Makajosia Mayone Kaseo. My lodge. It was burnt out of 20 cottages, 15 and the main restaurant. Right. I insured, but they paid me little money, about 300 million. But I needed like 2 billion to construct. So I put wildlife on notice. Because they have to compensate me. They are the ones who caused the fire. Our national park. So the minister, someone raised, it was raised on the parliament. So the minister is making